We may just have gotten the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack, but of course, the team is at work with long-term plans for content for both Sims 4 and Project Rene. These latest job postings I think are pretty interesting in terms of the type of content they have planned. Now, the first job posting actually does have to do with Project Rene, and while I do understand a lot of us don't really look forward to Project Rene, I still think it's important to keep in touch with what they're doing with the Sims franchise, especially because even though they say Sims 4 is going to last for years to come, we still don't know exactly what is going to happen. Now, with this is a creative director. You might ask, why do I know this is for Project Rene and not for Sims 4? Well, technically speaking, I don't know for sure. However, Sims 4 postings often have the label Sims 4, while this one just says The Sims. This is for a creative director, so obviously a very important position. I'm going to skip past the usual marketing buzz in terms of welcome to Max's home to tinkerers and craftspeople and storytellers. I have read that so many times, but I do want to go into what they are expected to do. Create the experience priorities that define the 3 to 5 year live ops roadmap in partnership with the senior production director, project manager, and through collaboration with the core leadership team and design directors. Already, they are creating a roadmap of up to 5 years of content. Now, it's hard to say what is usual in terms of how far ahead they plan, so I can't really, unfortunately, give insight into that. Now, it says partner with the art director and experienced design director on the visual quality bar, tone, and narrative voice of the game. Lead the game design team, overseeing the direction, goals, and priorities. You will advocate for the design direction of the product and lead design decision making and making clear calls on the product direction. We did have some leaks for Project Rene, and honestly, they looked pretty dicey. Now, keep in mind that could be just what the mobile version looks like. However, we do know this is fully cross-platform, and supposedly you're going to be able to switch from mobile to PC rather seamlessly. So there are a lot of questions of the overall design. It is possible what we saw were placeholders. I hope so, because they looked pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. But of course, this position is going to make a substantial impact one way or the other. Another reason I think this first job posting is for Project Rene is the emphasis on multiplayer. Now, I'm not saying they would never add a multiplayer component to Sims 4. Guess we can always see if that happens, but I do think this is probably what it is for. It says you have to have at least shipped one AAA title or major mobile titles, so again, the emphasis is on mobile. Deep first-hand experience or knowledge of the multiplayer or live sim markets. Experience tying intended player experiences to key performance indicators, and of course, evaluating software using instincts, player input, and quantitative data. A lot of this is not that unusual, but still interesting when we consider this project. Now, in case you were not familiar with the term, live operations is a style of game management and operations that treats a game as a live service and continually delivers new features, updates, and promotions, as well as in-game events, improvements, etc. Daily Sims 4 is also considered this too. No surprises there, that is pretty much their model for the Sims franchise going forward. We talked about this many times on my channel. Definitely has some pros to it and definitely some significant cons as well. The next job posting is for a quality assurance manager based in Colombia, interestingly enough, and this one actually cannot be remote, so they want someone specifically in Colombia for quality assurance management. Now, honestly, there's not a lot to dissect here. It's pretty much what you would expect. Manage operational aspects of quality verification, planning, and development stages from pre to production to launch in live, and build quality assurance practices that improve upstream quality using a data-driven approach to contribute to product quality and collaborate across a diverse group of project leaders. The next one is for a senior game designer, and again, it just says The Sims. So again, we have to guess if this is for Sims 4 and just not labeled as such, or for Project Rene. Now, the last job posting is going to be for Sims 4 specifically, so hang on for that. But this one I found interesting for a variety of reasons. Once again, it is multiple possible locations, so it's Redwood City or Vancouver, which I've noticed a lot of postings there too. But wait till you see what they're expected to do. Possess a deep understanding of new trends, driving player expectations, including the latest in life simulation, adventure games, cozy games, and the gaming industry in general. You have sensitivity to mass market appeal and the ability to improve accordingly. So obviously they're trying to take trends from all these different gaming genres, which I definitely have mixed opinions on. Of course, we do have the launch of My Sims on Nintendo Switch, so that's not that surprising. But adding in adventure games is definitely interesting. But what I found the most compelling is the very bottom point right here. Must be willing and able to travel within Asia regularly, approximately once every month, and ability to stay 1 to 2 weeks if needed. You can guess in the comments below why they want someone traveling to Asia so frequently. It's also kind of funny they say within all of Asia, but they don't really specify where. I think there are some strategic pillars going on here. However, I will have to research more to really give you my conclusions on what I think that could be. Now, the final job posting is indeed for Sims 4, and I know you'll say, yes, but it says The Sims, but if you get into the actual description, it will mention Sims 4. This is for lead project manager of gameplay, of course, again, a really important position. Also, wondering what the revolving door looks like behind the scenes, just kind of figuring out what the management looks like, how many people are leaving, how many are coming in, and of course, how that might change or influence The Sims 4 and the Sims franchise going forward. As far as what they want this person to do, generate insights that identify new opportunities for game expansions and increase business and player impact of new Sims 4 DLCs. Definitely for Sims 4. Now, as far as expansions, that doesn't mean we're only going to get expansions. I have noticed in a lot of job postings, also in earnings calls, they sometimes say expansions or added content, and they use the terms in ways the players do not. As far as other things they need to do, collaborate with data, consumer insights, user research, and other teams to find qualitative and quantitative insight. Work with large data sets to analyze player behavior and recommend gameplay features that enhance the player experience, and notably, drive improvements to the Sims 4 roadmap process. Regularly refresh the backlog, use data to assess and evaluate opportunities with design and production, and prioritize our future DLC and base game updates. Now, there's nothing super unusual here, but it is clear they are still full force creating more content for Sims 4. Again, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I do really find it interesting to think about them looking at adventure games, traveling within Asia, and yes, it's hard to unpack tons from job postings, but do I think it's good to try to get an indicator of what's going on? Of course. Now, I've expressed many times, I personally am not feeling very good about Project Rene. As I cover Sims, I still think it's important to understand what's going on, and of course, to get more clarity on Project Rene, we're just gonna have to wait until next year, because next year we are going to actually have a behind the Sims, or whatever they want to call it, Sims Summit, and finally, maybe we'll get a little bit of insight on what they're thinking. Let me know what you think. As always, please take care, and I'll see you in the next one.